Hi, today we're going to speak about piles, fissures, fistula. What are the differences, what they are, what are the likely causes, and the possible solutions. So first let's start with piles. Piles is a condition where the blood vessels, they are filled with blood clots, and the blood clots keep swelling and enlarging within. So there is grade 1, grade 2, grade 3 and grade 4. In grade 1, the blood clots are only well within the rectum. In grade 2, they slightly swell out and come out, are peeping out of the rectum, and that is where they are. Grade 3 is defined as one where the prolapse, which is the blood vessels, come and hang out of the anus. And every time after passing bowels or stools, you help push it back in. Grade 4 is when you can't even push that prolapse back in. It's a fairly bad condition. There is a lot of blood loss that happens. Pain is supposedly less compared to fissures. So that is the general view of piles. It leads to various issues. At times when there is excess blood loss, it goes to anemia. It is painful every day. A lot of blood loss every day. In fissures, what happens is when the stool is very hard, and imagine something hard rubbing against something very soft and delicate like your rectum and the inside of it. So when it comes out, it creates scars on the inside. And when it creates scars on the inside, every morning when I pass stools is a nightmare. It is extremely painful, at least in comparison to piles that we just spoke about. It is again a condition which is simple to address, and there is not much blood loss over here in this case. In fistula, what happens is there is an infection within, and that infection, the buildup of pus starts. It bores a tunnel right from there which can go close to the vagina, close to the anus or somewhere in the buttocks. That is simple fistula. And when the buildup of pus goes on happening till the time when it can be held within no longer, there is an abscess or a port that is created outside, and then the pus starts flowing out followed by blood. It is a terrible situation. It stinks. It is difficult to be in the same room with the person suffering from or who is oozing out pus. You can imagine how it is. So here also there is a simple kind and a complex kind. Simple kind is just one tunnel. Complex could be multiple tunnels. The base cause largely depends on what we are talking about. All the three would be constipation, could be a lot of diarrhea. Fissures, as we've already spoken, is due to hard stools, and hard stools happens when you haven't passed motion regularly. It's just collected within, and all the water has been sucked out of it by the intestines. At times we hear of people who pass stools only once in 3 days, once in 4 days. Is it bad? Of course it is bad. Think of the situation. If you go and pass stools and you don't flush the toilet, how does it look? It looks terrible. You can't go back into the toilet in the next 1 hour. Forget 24 hours. And people don't go and pass stools for the next 2 days, 3 days, 4 days. How bad can it be inside? Just because we don't see it, it doesn't mean it is not creating more infection and worse inside. The fistula could also happen due to, ulcerative colitis. It could happen due to an infection in the intestines. It could happen due to radiotherapy someone is taking because of cancer. It could happen due to some drugs that you take. There could be multiple reasons. It is important to find the cause and address the cause. If constipation is a simple reason, it is largely very, very easy to figure that out and address it. Increase your intake of fruits and vegetables. Will it help? It most definitely will. There could be multiple other things that one has to do, but one has to always find the cause. The sad part that we see is a lot of patients keep coming to us with multiple surgeries, and it seems surgery is the only way to address it. In the outside world there with modern medicine, sadly we get cases who have undergone 5 surgeries, which means not only us, not only them, even the doctors who conduct the surgeries know it doesn't work. It only gives momentary relief. We've heard of people who tie a thread. There is a different method. We know of people who take different kind of medication, antibiotics or some other pathy that they take. And we know this is nothing which can be addressed like all other diseases with medication. It can only bridge the gap and give you temporary relief. Why? Because we haven't addressed the cause on why this has happened. It's a simple situation. These are universal laws which are applicable universally to everything. A simple example, if a mouse dies in your house, how do you know that the mouse has died and you haven't seen it? There is a stink that comes. The stink, and you can't find the mouse. The one way to address the stink is use aerosol, use some perfume. Does it help reduce the stench in the house? It does. Does it make it livable? It does, but only momentarily. Sooner or later that smell will, the aerosol smell will dissipate and the stink of the dead mouse will again come back to hit us. The only one way that you can address it is look under the bed, behind the cupboard, but you have to find the mouse and get it out of the house. Only then will you address the stink in the house. Similarly, look at yourself. Unless you go and address the cause, you will never have a permanent solution to either of the three above. And it is an extremely simple thing to fix. Take care of yourself. Have a healthy life. Address them naturally. Live joyfully. Thank you.